Some economic experts say there's need for Nigeria to be more wary about its foreign debt rather than the domestic debt. And this comes as criticism follow the recent submission by the National Economic Council that Nigeria's level of indebtedness is still healthy for the economy. Our business correspondent Chimezie Obiwagwu looks at Nigeria's debt profile and its implications for the economy.
It was a bit worrisome for some Nigerians when the nation's economic managers, under the banner of the National Economic Council, declared that growing concerns and criticisms of the country's huge domestic and foreign debts were not well grounded.
The need to diversify our economy
This is after the finance minister had described the country's huge domestic debt profile as worrisome.
I'm not too particular about the domestic debt for two reasons. One, domestic debt we can manage if we're able to put our priorities right, and we can also securitize them and make them more productive by issuing probably federal government promissory notes to those that the government is owing. It has its own implications on the other side for inflation and the rest of them. But with regards to foreign debts, my concern is that we already have about $5 billion that we're managing, but I know the coordinating minister is also seeking about $8 billion to be able to, carry out some projects, including airport projects in Lagos, Kano, Port Harcourt, and the rest of them. I'm not sure that those are good priorities that we should be putting a lot of money into at this time.
Two things: the quality of the domestic debt. A lot of this debt were from the past, where people issued debt for the wrong reasons to fund projects, pet projects that were not productive. Secondly, she doesn't want people being reckless about issuing debts for things that are not productive.
With Nigeria's external debt at $5.9 billion, some economic experts maintain that it is still a far cry for any country seeking economic growth.
For an economy like Nigeria's, if you only need to look at comparable debt for other countries that are maybe a quarter of our size, you see, what that tells you is that you don't have aluminum, you don't have steel, you don't have any manufacturing, you don't have any investment in raw material production, you are not investing in research, you are not investing in so many things. So to focus on a $5 billion debt, which I see with the proliferation of DMOs all over the place, is giving Nigerians a very false image. There is so much potential growth that is stifled because we chose to dwell in those regions.
Statistics from the Debt Management Office put Nigeria's domestic debt at 5.9 trillion naira, with the federal government bond at 3.6 trillion naira. Reports say the rate at which the federal government borrows stands at between 15 to 17%.
Now we are floating bonds left, right, and center. There appears to be some measure of coordination, but it's not really reflecting proper planning at the various units, whether at the federal level or at the state level or at the local government level, not talk of the communities. Municipalities like Lagos and all the other bigger cities should be issuing bonds, but it should be targeted at the jobs they have to do to raise the infrastructure of these cities to the kinds of things people see when they are running all over, shopping all over the world,
If the words of these experts are anything to go by, then it is important that government focuses more attention on developmental projects as a justification for the huge borrowing. Chimezie Obiwagwu for Channels Television News.